when you first meet my guest, you feel this huge ball of energy all the time. When you first see him professionally, as I did in his workshop, you discover his exceptional talent. It is truly wow. He blended energy and talent along with mindfulness to create an experience for us all to participate in. And it is transformational, to say the least. My guest is good from the inside out, as he gives us a moment to shine his rays add-on to make him a brighter star by the day. So join me to ask 10 questions to my extraordinary guest, Elias Zayek.
Thank you so much for the space for us to be able to talk and for the beautiful, beautiful introduction. I'm so grateful for you and what you just said.
I'm
Thank you.
so happy for you to be here. I'm really excited. We've been
you.
talking about this for
Thank
quite a bit. So,
Yeah, we've been waiting for
Yeah.
us to have this sit.
Yeah.
We've had so many coffee sits, but
Yeah.
we haven't had this. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited for
Yeah.
what's coming.
Yeah, me too.
And I love the comfort we have towards each other because
do.
we have spent
We understand each
we
other.
have spent a full month of workship all together.
Exactly.
So it's really interesting. We're gonna be talking about this in a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank
So before I start my questions,
Mhm.
I'd first like you to tell me about yourself, like who is an idea about yourself, who is Elias?
Yeah, so let me start by, I'm 34 right now, and I studied acting
Yeah.
at the Stella Adler Studio of Acting in Los Angeles, and this is how I got my degree. And I came back to Lebanon around 10 years ago now or so, and I started working in the industry, in the
Right.
field of filmmaking, and I've done a lot of theater production, a lot of
Oh, did you do
commercials.
theater here also?
I've done three
Okay.
theatrical performances,
Yeah.
full-on performances, and I've done a lot of feature films, a lot of series, or what we call them here, soap operas. That's
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
try to make the difference between both and the series, the specificity. We're going to be talking about this later as well.
Okay.
And I kept on working with this when the Syrian refugee crisis happened.
Right.
They asked a lot of actors for them to come and entertain. So I really had the passion in me, and this is how everything started. I started building this program to help people.
The mindful performer.
Yes, but at that time, we're talking 6 years ago.
Yeah.
At that time, it wasn't yet there, the title, but
Right.
the whole self-improvement workshops
Yeah.
through drama practices started to take shape, and this is how it kept evolving. And I started going to organizations,
It
groups.
started with the Syrian refugees.
Yes, it started with the refugees, and this
I
is how
didn't know
I
that.
felt the comfort
Right.
to bring in something, because once you interact with people of this level
Yeah.
and what they pass through, you've probably taken the most extreme side. So then you start knowing how to
Because there's a lot of
manufacture it
trauma.
all. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, because they went through
Yeah.
a lot. So
Yeah.
it was a huge challenge, but it made me very strong and very confident what I
Wow.
wanted to build. And then the new road started, which is doing and building this. And then I met Ghassan Yamin, École des Arts.
Yeah.
Ghassan Yamin, he's
Yeah,
a
we
lovely
both know
person,
him,
and
yeah.
he believed
He
in this
actually
idea.
introduced me to you.
Really?
Remember? At Laptivity event.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I that's the day
That's how we met.
That's how we met.
Yeah.
I love our connection.
Yeah.
I love things that come directly like this. So I kept on working with him on this beautiful journey, and kept on evolving. And then later on, I kept on evolving the page until I created the name, which is the Mindful Performer. It's my
Yeah.
baby, and
Yeah.
I do it today in parallel to my acting.
Yeah.
But I've become very selective in the projects that I take.
Yeah.
Very
so
true.
it's kind of an
And you
encouragement
got
for
to
you
experience
Yeah, I
the whole
did.
full month workshop,
Yeah.
and you saw the effects of it. Honestly, my greatest reason for me to continue and keep moving forward is the testimonials of the people.
Yeah.
It's amazing what it's doing. It gives me a push for me to keep on making it grow and
Yeah.
moving forward.
I'll give my small testimony a little bit later.
Definitely, I would love to hear it.
Yeah. So we'll start with the questions.
Yes.
So I like to start when people are young, because this is the foundation of when we grow up. So what kind of child were you? Were you creative, imaginative, active? A lot of people dream of being like their heroes, like James Bond, Spider-Man, Batman, but it seems like you went to make that dream come true.
Yeah, in some way, I was a ball of energy.
Yeah.
A wonderful blessings for the parents. That's at least through their eyes. So
Okay. They like that.
they loved the energy and
Okay.
everything. And I kept involving myself in a lot of things. So I was a Scouts member for 12 years. So it's something that really shaped me and changed me. And
Your love for nature comes from that?
Yes, definitely,
Okay.
definitely, and also from my father, because he's someone who loves planting and the gardening and all of this. So I learned from a younger age to really appreciate and love nature, and I realized during my hard phases in life how much I was grateful that I was introduced to nature, because it has helped me move forward in life on so many
It has
levels.
healing powers.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the heroes specifically, I never had one specific. I wanted them all.
Oh, yeah?
I loved them all. So
That's what an actor does.
so my exactly, maybe the energies were actually speaking to me at that time, but I didn't really understand. But I was born in Christmas time, so I used to have
yeah?
Christmas and my
Okay.
birthday same day,
Right.
same time. So that was the time where I get a lot of gifts.
Okay. Okay.
When I was young, so I used to get a lot of heroes. You know, like it's either
Like the
Zorro
figurines,
or
you mean, and
Batman.
stuff? Yeah.
The figures, and dress them up.
Oh, really?
So that also pushed
Okay.
my energy to just go as extreme
Yeah.
as possible.
Yeah.
So I was this ball of fire, and till today I don't understand it, but I do believe that it's the reason why it moves us forward, and I trust it. I trust the process.
Yeah.
Before I was a ball of fire without no control and the inability to be able to really concentrate and
Yeah.
understand how to balance both. So it was chaotic.
Well, that's
Sometimes-
maturity.
Yeah,
It's
and
fine.
it caused a lot of problems and intensities in my thoughts, and
Yeah.
I'm a very fragile person, so I'm very emotional as well.
Okay.
That's why I can easily access my emotions, because I've had this bowl of emotions that
Right.
I can always access, because I've experienced most of them. So grateful for the pain that I went through in life.
They teach us happiness
They
also.
teach us happiness,
Yeah.
and they're the reason why we grow.
Yeah.
So if we stay in our comfort zone, we're not able to move forward in any way
Yeah.
possible. So I'm very grateful for everything.
I guess the chaos makes everybody confused about how to
True,
behave
true.
and everything. Yeah.
So I felt that, look, this made me feel comfortable interacting with people. Let me keep on doing it. So
Yeah.
I realized how much pain, and the workshop kept on proving how much, if we just listen and don't give our point of view, how much we hear that there's a lot of different point of views that are actually very close to what we feel, and their pain is our pain, and we are all similar, and
Right.
that puts you in a state where, okay, I'm not alone.
You
And that's-
always say no judgment, no criticism.
Yes.
You keep repeating that during the workshop.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because it's because we're always judged the moment we're
Yeah.
outside of the workshop till we go back to the workshop. I believe whatever we do, where we are in our state, at work, everything, we're always worried about people judging. So
Yeah.
we need a very a safe zone,
Yeah.
a safe space to live in, and not worry about judgment, build the trust really fast,
Yeah.
and start really focusing on the self and the self-growth.
Giving it a solid base.
Yeah, get rid of those
Yeah.
those ideas that are overwhelming, but in real life they lack presence, and they don't really exist. They're mainly in our imagination.
I was going to say we make these
True.
traumatic thoughts.
And that we-
innovators.
Innovators.
Yeah.
We are creators. We are people that, we started communicating through the physical and through expression
Yeah.
and through the voice.
It was survival
without even
also.
creating the
Right.
language yet. So
Yeah.
we are expressive in
Right.
our life, in our nature, and then you bring 2023, and the whole world we live in just suppresses you and doesn't let you be human, simply.
Okay, so you're guiding people to be human again.
I'm not guiding, I'm just
Opening the door?
I'm opening the door. I'm letting people realize that there are different
Okay.
ways. It's very well tailored fit for all
Yeah.
the individuals
Everybody is very
in
comfortable
our
it.
Arab
Yeah.
society and
Yeah.
community, not even Lebanon, all of the GCC,
Yeah.
because it screams out their pain and it stands next to them. It's not something out of nowhere.
So you started at the Stella Adler Academy, right?
Yeah.
Which is an intense acting academy. So what was the experience like for you? Because obviously it gave you the base of acting and a little bit the mindful performer. And how did it change you, and what are the key points you took away from it?
It was life-changing. It
Yeah.
was life-changing because I was 18 years old when I went there to Stella Adler, and I was living under a certain mentality and political ideology and everything that the sick society has fed me. I call
Right.
it sick because
Yeah.
people has to become aware that we are in a state of emergency.
Yeah.
I used to go introduce
Yeah.
myself as a Lebanese. There's some people that that does this reaction.
Where is that?
Where is that? So
Yeah.
everything that you believed in dies out in a millisecond just because someone doesn't even know the country exists. So LA and Stella Adler reshaped me. I went there because I used to love movies, and I used to watch a lot of movies, and I was a lover of movies. So I wanted to become an actor. But at that time I was 18, so of course I was thinking of all the fame and the red carpet
the
and
money,
Hollywood,
the
whatever.
girls.
So I applied.
Yeah.
So I applied to the Lebanese University of Acting and Arts, and I also applied to Stella Adler. When I got accepted there, I went there, Stella Adler Studio of Acting.
Yeah.
And this is where it really shifted my life, because I lived as a family with people who are international, something that was extremely shocking. I've never
Wow.
seen it in my life. I was 18 years old. I was the youngest in my class.
I was going to ask, how old are they?
They're 20s,
Okay.
30s, they're 60
Oh,
years old.
wow.
Yeah, there's people from all over the
Just like
the
the
world.
Mindful Performer Workshop.
Yes, in some way, yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm very sure that Stella Adler and this whole thing really shaped the mindful performer for me, definitely. But it was a beautiful experience because you lived as a family. It was a very cozy place with 2 beautiful theaters and beautiful wooden floors with rooms where we studied. I started studying myself and realizing what a coma I was living in Lebanon.
Okay.
Because
You're
studying
opened up to the
you're not
world
going
now.
to study to be a doctor or whatever. You're actually studying acting, so you're studying human behavior. I
Yeah,
didn't
I was
understand
gonna
that
say,
at that time.
human
I just wanted to be
emotions. Yeah.
I just wanted to be a known actor or whatever, or just
Right.
right. But then you started realizing that you're studying yourself and realizing your inner problems, inner turmoils, and facing them because
Yeah.
you're studying characters. You're shifting accents, you're doing improv, you're doing voice techniques, you're releasing everything, you're discovering things at the age of 18 that nobody told you about.
And it's a
So
very
you-
vulnerable age.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
either you fall or and I fell big
Oh, you
time. Yeah,
did?
of course.
Okay.
It made me very weak. I felt that what coma I was living in for 18 years.
Was it because you were cocky?
I wouldn't say cocky. I was just I didn't think I was very fragile, and I thought that the world is nicer than this, and then you
Oh, I
realize
see, okay.
as you grow
Yeah.
that the world is still nice. It's just that it has people
Yeah.
that are not bad. They're just simply not well educated and didn't have the tools, because there's a thin line of someone becoming a psychopath and someone being extremely productive or grows. And I really want to point out something that's not about studying acting or anything. I think every human being has the inner passion for them to express. It's just that society has been suppressing them. That's why they realize that they don't have it anymore. But I think it's innate in us to express. That's why you see a lot of people that tell me, oh, I always wanted to do acting. I always wanted to do
Right.
this. I tell them, it's not about you always wanting, it's that us as humans, we always want to express. And because we're barely expressing, when we see a title or a program or a workshop, we feel, oh, have the drive towards it. I want to express. This should be something that's implemented in schools and everywhere.
You kind of introduced my next question, actually, because I was going to say there's a certain freedom in acting.
Yeah.
Right? And you let go of everything that you hold on to. And are you being more yourself when you act or when you're in real life? Like, where do we find the real yes?
I am as honest as I can be.
Yeah, you are.
If I am acting, I am honest with the character that I'm playing, honest with their emotion and not fooling the person that is in front of them,
Yeah.
never judging the character. And I am honest in my real life with my parents. Sometimes my honesty is too intense, so it might hurt people, but I'm too straightforward. I feel and I think and I say directly what I want to say without really thinking about it, because
Yeah.
I truly believe that trying to put layers on it, you'll have to pay for it later on. So I'd rather just be extremely straightforward. And
Right.
I grew with that because I cannot be any other than that and be able to conduct a full workshop with putting on a mask.
Yeah.
So when I'm also acting, I am also honest, because I'm also releasing. If I'm doing comedy, I'm actually releasing. And if I'm
Okay.
crying, I'm actually releasing something inside of me that's still there.
So it reminds you have to find
It's
the
not really
emotion.
remembering, it's
Oh, okay.
mainly going through so much shit in your life. That's why I
Yeah.
had a teacher in LA that's called Dimitri Boudrin.
Okay.
And he used to teach us something called Alexander Technique. Anyways, he used to tell us that you cannot be an actor if you don't have a broken heart. It's not a broken heart of, oh, my girlfriend left me or whatever.
Yeah.
A broken heart is so much tears, so much pain. So I'm always
Right.
open for so much pain. But acting is something essential for every person, every
Yeah,
single
it's a
person.
release. I
That's
felt
why
it in your
now
workshop,
we're
yeah.
moving. This is growing, and
Yeah.
we're moving from only doing the workshop to going to NGOs.
Yeah.
The elders, I have a program
Yeah.
specifically for the elders, for teenagers,
Right.
because I think they're at the worst state now, the teenagers in our time, with the whole TikTok and everything that's happening. It's destroying them.
Well, a lot of times people who they say they become creative and everything, it's usually when they're walking or they're
True.
walking in nature,
True.
when in a kind
True.
of movement. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
like a race or anything
And
like
if
that.
the intention and the depression is high and huge, the process of you letting go of those chains is, of course, lesser
Yeah.
than the intensity of someone who has already let go and has to move forward more like
Okay.
an intense lion or an animal. So
Yeah.
that's why the more rigorous your workout and training, the more rigorous you become in life and in your presence. And
Okay.
the more someone is going through so much pain, he starts slowly, by the walk, slowly.
Now to go to the next question, because it's kind of, I'm thinking it's relating to the next question. You're talking about movement and you have to be aggressive and everything, but mindfulness
Mm-hmm.
is a lot more calm.
Yeah,
And you have to be aware and you have to
true.
observe like your inner self. You have to be
True.
in a calm moment.
Mhm.
So how did you get into mindfulness if you believe like you?
I'll give you a very simple example.
Yeah.
A child has so much energy in him.
Yeah.
Okay? 7-year-old, he wants to go all over the place. And the best thing for you know, most parents, they give them the iPad or whatever,
Yeah.
and their energy is still there and they're not able to release it. So now there's nothing for them to release anymore.
Right.
So the idea is throwing this child out there in the world, making them sweat and release as much as they can their energy
Mhm.
until they cannot even walk or breathe anymore.
Okay.
So that when they come down, when they come back
calm,
home,
yeah.
they calm so much that they are able to sit in with themselves.
Okay.
So that brings me to telling you this. My calmness comes from the extreme volcano that blows up. And with
So
it,
after you let it out,
after
you
you
can
let
sit
it
down.
out, you're able
Okay.
to sit in with yourself.
That's very philosophical.
Mindfulness, though,
Yeah.
is something. It's just being, right? And
Yeah, it
for
is,
me,
it's
and
being.
for me, being is a personal challenge, because I'm someone who's extreme in my reactions, thoughts, and ideas.
We can feel it.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
like I said in the introduction,
Yeah.
you're just like a ball of energy. Every word that you say is like full of
Yeah, it's full of
energy.
intense energies. Yes.
What was the transformative moment that changed you? Because you have to feel a transformative moment to help others realize their own transformative moments.
That's a very good question.
Yeah, I told you it's a good question.
I don't believe it's a one-day thing that shifted
No, it
everything.
doesn't
It's
have
a
to be a
continuity
one-day
of
thing.
so much
Mhm.
heartaches,
Okay.
so much pain, so much loss of people that I love,
Okay.
either if they're dead or simply we separated in life.
Right.
Uh,
But you're not
Society.
talking about the good moments. You're always mentioning the pain. But
It's-
the good moments should also give you a bit of energy.
it's the pain that changes the person so that
Mm.
he can come to enjoy the good moments.
Okay.
And I've had beautiful moments. I've camped 10 days in nature with myself alone.
You're
or
making
with
me
friends.
feel better now because I was feeling bad that you're always talking about pain and you
No,
need
it's very essential to talk about pain, and
Yeah.
something that we always miss.
Okay.
Because people
And no, there's
relate.
no shame.
It's very essential for
Yeah.
people to relate and understand that pain is something completely normal, and it's very important to constantly talk about it.
Okay.
We are a combination of happiness and pain, but what moves us forward is the pain, and it's after we balance this pain and we're able to actually see the positive side of it, see how we grew. This is the blessing.
Okay.
This is the happiness. This is the release. You have to feel the pain. You have to be very accepting of it.
Right. Okay.
Accepting of it, yeah.
Accepting of life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And through pain came the mindful performer. So it didn't come out of blessing, but out of pain. But it is a blessing
it is a
itself,
blessing, I was
right?
just
For so
gonna
many
say.
people.
Yeah.
People come into the workshop
Yeah.
extremely not expecting anything, not knowing anyone.
Yeah.
And then later on, fast forward a month, they are all sharing stories that
Yeah.
even they don't share with their brothers and sisters, with their
Right.
closest people. Why? Because they realize that this is a space for them to trust themselves.
The
and
safe space, as you
it's
said.
a safe space to
Yeah.
express and trust people around them, because they know they won't judge them. Why? Because they heard them saying their problems before they
Yeah.
tap the person next to them and come towards them. So they're like, oh wow, he just expressed something I'm just feeling. How can I
We're all the same. We
yeah,
all
how
have
can I grow through
the
that?
good and bad days.
And at the end of the day, they're just the tools. They're just so strong, you know. The ability to scream, to perform, to release.
Yeah.
There are people that come and speak to me and like, I was never able to express.
I ended up screaming.
Yeah, and you ended up screaming.
And
so,
I told you from
so
the
it's
beginning, I don't
very
wanna
sad.
scream.
It's very sad that we live in a society when I see a 35-year-old or 40-year-old that's still suppressed by society. Where were you? Come, shake yourself out. Get out of it. You have so much blessings in this life, and you can give so much.
You have exceptional talent, because I saw it in person. I really...
Thank you.
And I have a new admiration for theater acting. It's a very new appreciation for it. Who were your favorite actors? Who inspired you in acting?
Oh, wow. It's asking me like, what's my favorite Lebanese dish? And I
Oh,
love
yeah?
them all.
Oh, okay.
'Cause I love
Each
them
one has
amazing.
something special.
Yes, each one has something
For
special.
example?
I mean, I would say Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
I love
Yeah.
this guy. I love Christian Bale. Then Day-Lewis stopped acting, I believe,
Oh,
unless
okay.
he changes his mind. But for now,
Okay.
he stopped. But he has definitely been an inspiration. He's the biggest thing we've ever seen in our lives.
Yeah?
Not even Brando or any other actor
Really? You
can
think
take
so?
over. Yeah, his ability, because he
Taking over
learned from all
Brando.
of these. Yes,
Ah.
because he's the best. He's the best, and he has made me fall in love with it. And the film industry in general, directors. Actors, how I grew up watching Lord of the Rings is something that has shaped me and has taught me. Stories and films affected my growth because I didn't have tutors or mentors in life, and movies are mentors. And
Yeah.
let's not forget what's the real reason of movies. It's just to tell us a story and to
Yeah.
affect us on so many ways, or to make us feel
To
good.
affect us emotionally.
Yes, to
Yeah.
affect us emotionally. So
Yeah.
it's very essential. It's something that I love, something that I can never live without, right? But I'm so glad I was born in the 90s and all of this, because this era was magnificent.
Those
With the most
amazing
beautiful
movies.
Harry
Yeah.
Potter and this
Yeah.
and Braveheart, Road to Perdition, Shawshank Redemption,
Oh,
There
that was
Will Be
my
Blood,
favorite, yeah.
Cinderella Man, Beautiful
Yeah.
Mind, the list goes on.
Jeez, you're
Hunger,
reminding me
Michael
now.
Fassbender is a magnificent actor.
Okay.
Christian Bale, those people are magnificent, and they have shaped me so much. They have taught me, wow, what is the intensity of human behavior,
Yeah.
and how much you can experience within yourself. They're not anything special than us.
No.
That's why there should be a little Daniel Day-Lewis in us, and a little bit of Christian Bale,
Yeah.
a little bit of someone not scared to go and
Express.
reaching me to the point that 95% of my workshop is females,
Yeah, that's true.
because male
males,
mental
they're
health
still-
is dying, and
Yeah.
it's so bad, and we have to start becoming more aware in that.
They're,
People don't want to
they're
express.
talking a little bit more and
They're
more
starting
about
to talk
it.
about
Yeah.
it. It's like 20 years ago when they started talking about the global warming, or I
Okay.
call it global warning.
Yeah.
Anyways, so it's yeah. I don't know what we were talking about, but yeah.
We're talking about who is inspiring you.
Yeah, those are the actors that inspire us.
But you're right.
just-
I miss Daniel Day-Lewis. He
He's-
has a certain presence.
Yeah, that's why every time you miss him, just watch him. Watch him in
Okay.
my left foot. One of the best performances ever, and he won the Oscar, first Oscar for that.
Did he?
He plays a quadriplegic person who can't move anything in their body except their left foot, and it's a true story about an Irish guy who wrote a poem, story, and used to draw only with his beautiful paintings with his left foot.
Wow.
So Daniel Lewis
Yeah, I'm
played
gonna
that,
look
and
for
that's
that.
magnificent because the guy just goes extreme, and he teaches us so much.
That's not
and
easy
he
to act.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
shows you our potential as humans and where we can achieve. Not only that we can go up towards the sky and discover galaxies, but also simply from a small performance we can affect 2,000 people.
Yeah.
It's being very honest with your own emotions. You cannot be an actor if you're not honest. That's why you asked me, why am I honest? It's just,
That's
I'm
true.
lying to I'll
So
be lying to you and myself.
it's related to on the contrary, it's being honest.
Look,
it's not
I'm
not
s-
pretending.
I'm so glad I studied this
Yeah.
because this has shaped my character, and I can never live without it. That's how I reach my point of view the right way. That's how I express the right way, because I have an understanding and a respect for breath, for the power of the word, and for gestures.
You're a very philosophical person.
I love philosophy, and I love the Greek and the Roman culture, and I've watched so many documentaries and things about this, and I truly believe they really understood it at that time.
They did.
And it was very straightforward.
Even
and
going back to Greek mythology.
Yes, it's
oh my
magnificent.
God, they still apply
which
today.
leads us to our Mindful Performer logo, which
Really?
is it's a Greek body.
Yeah, it looks like a statue.
Because Greeks and they used to believe that the closest way to being God, that's why they crafted Zeus and all of those beautiful statues with all the details of the muscles and every detail. Why? Because they believed this is the most perfect shape to be the closest to God. That's why Zeus,
a God figure,
and Poseidon and all of these were there. So this is inspired from them. We are this Greek God within ourselves, but at the same time we are shattered. And that's why half of the head is broken, with a tear that you can see is going down.
Oh, right,
from
now
the
I
eye.
see it. Okay.
And we are trying to rebuild this. This is why we're trying to be mindful, and the performer is the whole body. So this is
we can do it.
Yeah.
We can rebuild it.
We definitely can. We need some tools, and we just need the right people next to us.
Yeah.
Because happiness is meant to be shared, and also company is very important. We cannot be alone in this life.
Yeah.
We can be
need
alone
bonding.
once we have fixed everything in us, then we become hermits.
When we're 7 years old. You're given your workshop, like you said, to different communities. So the refugees, the elderly, you even gave to people with mental health issues. And we have a whole bunch of people that attend your workshop. What have you learned about humanity? Because there's so many different backgrounds.
That we are very fragile, that we're very sad within us. We do not have the tools to interact. We let every day pass.
All of us the same.
The bigger majority, because we live in a world where it's not maybe... It used to be different from the way I hear it from my parents and the days before. Now we live in a very, I call it a sick world, with a sick world around it, with everything, the wars that are happening and everything.
The values have changed a little bit.
The values also have changed into the worst, into the negative, definitely. Everybody's depressed, mostly everyone's down, because they're not able to because they don't have tools. Because today, it's very sad, you swipe a lot and you see millions of people telling you how to live life and how you should be, and quotes and everything, but at the end of the day, you close off the phone and then you cry your pain out because
you're alone.
This is not a way to release anymore, and we have lost our sense of humanity, we have lost...
it's an attachment to materialism that brought us to this.
Yes, it's very sad. Of course, the way you eat, everything has to be in some way organic, and you have to be like less processed food in some way. It's very essential. Working out intensely, because we have a certain criteria we have to reach every single day as humans evolving. That we used to do 10,000 steps. Today, it takes 10 days to do 1,000 steps. It's so sad.
We don't move as much as before.
So this has all created this depression. And the only way to get out of it, yes, it's through physical awareness, physical workout, eating healthy, and becoming more aware of what objective you want to complete in life. Just seeing a certain idea and reaching it.
Do you feel... I was going to ask this differently, but I might as well relate it to
Go
what you're
ahead.
saying now. Do you feel the culture in the U.S. is different, the culture of well-being, than it is here in Lebanon?
Of course.
I was going to ask about acting,
course.
but I mean...
Yeah, I love what you just told me, specifically because of the States. I went there from the age of 18 till the age of 21, so I studied there acting, and it has really shaped me on so many levels. I got to learn other cultures and not realizing that my only culture is the only existence that I truly believe, which is only my bubble, which is Lebanon. The problem that everybody thinks and feels, unfortunately, because this is how we're brainwashed. But no, there's a lot of different cultures, so it affected me so much. Now, the culture changes. I always say that because when it comes to the workshop, for instance, I can bring now someone from New York, and he can come and stay 1 month or 2 months in Lebanon, for instance. I'm giving you an example.
Yeah.
And he can give a workshop, right?
Right.
In acting or whatever, and then he will leave. Will the youth or the people that took the workshop understand his background, where he is, what he has done, and most of the exercises, will they relate with them or not? Definitely not, because he comes from a different culture. He's been giving in New York, for instance, those workshops, but there are games, there are exercises that they just do not fit our culture.
Okay.
So definitely culture is totally different from different places, and your approach should be tailor fit according to the culture. We are very much affected by the longitude and the latitude of where we are born.
Yeah.
This affects our character. If we are born in the cold or if we are born in the desert, it really affects everything. I was born in this beautiful spot in Lebanon, and it has really shaped me through scouts and everything, my character. I think I survive the most, and I'm the most productive here. Of course, I always travel and work around, but I really love to sustain myself here, specifically because we have the 4 seasons, and those 4 seasons give everything, all the blessings. We are so blessed in this country that people don't really appreciate what they have.
That's true.
And they just throw garbage and condoms.
With all the wrong that's happening in this country, and there's a lot of stuff that's wrong, one of the aim of this podcast is to introduce amazing people on the ground who are really doing good things in this country, among you and like many of my guests.
Yeah.
So like you're talking about how the values have degraded and things, but there's still a side of some people that are really giving back.
Yeah,
and they're really good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing them anyways in your workshop and stuff. You're seeing a lot of good people.
That's why I want to tell you that I truly believe that everybody is good.
Yeah.
Everybody has the potential to be good. And sometimes the layers of pain in our society affects those people and doesn't give them the tools. So they become aggressive in their nature.
That's true. It's all about education.
Yeah, and their aggressivity, if it's not well thought of or taken care of, it will turn them into aggressive beings, and this aggressivity will be perceived as if this being is not good or he's such a bad person. But I truly believe if given the right choices and states and tools, we can make a difference. And
each person can make a difference. Mm-hmm.
But we have to always believe.
We have to look at the light, or towards the light.
Yes. And what do we mean by looking at the light? It's not really sitting and looking at the light or searching for it.
It's being active.
It's so many things. It's eliminating negative people in your life. It's being closer to people who care about you. It's having friends. It's like Ikigai, which is a beautiful book, eating 80% of everything in life. So don't ever eat 100%.
What is the book?
Ikigai, the happiness of always being busy.
I don't know
the
that.
Japanese way of being happy. It's magnificent.
Okay. The Japanese have a lot of interesting philosophy.
So they wrote this book simply by two Spanish writers that went to Okinawa, which is an island in Japan, where it has the most people that live around 100 and 120 years old.
That's true. Yeah.
So what best to ask? What is the secret of life? But to ask
a long life. A long happy life.
Yes, but to ask the people who are 120 years old. So then they asked them all separately.
Yeah.
And then they merged. 90% said the same thing. So it must be the reality. And it's magnificent. Having physical activity, good friends, eliminating bad people in your life, and always have a some kind of a purpose or an objective to look
Yeah.
forward to, just so you can hold on to, and hold on to the people you love, because you don't know when you will lose them, and that's the harshest thing.
Yeah,
And all
healthy
we do-
well-being in the end.
All we do is prepare ourselves physically and mentally and emotionally to be able to take in those intense storms that come
Okay.
our way.
Okay. What makes the ordinary extraordinary?
When you destroy ego
Hmm.
and you focus on self-love,
Okay.
because ego and self-love are misunderstood. Ego is something,
Mm-hmm.
but self-love is important. It's very
Yeah.
important, because you cannot,
It's a
as we
fine
said,
line, I understand what
cannot
you're
love
saying.
ourselves. We
Self-care.
can't help others if we cannot love ourselves. We can't
Mhm.
even understand. I'm not asking to help. Understand someone if I'm in my own vague
Bubble?
bubble,
Yeah.
right?
Well, it definitely shows that you care for yourself and
I
that
try.
you're giving to
I try.
others a lot.
Sometimes I don't love myself. Sometimes I hit myself. You know. Sometimes I feel that I'm in so much darkness and pain.
Well, it's okay because we're human.
Yeah,
It's
true.
okay if we go through these
True.
phases.
I this is what a lot of people said it in beautiful podcasts I've seen. This too shall pass. This
Yeah.
too shall pass. So that's what I keep reminding myself, that the sadness will be gone. I have to just focus on what's positive. in everything.
Before, I want to do a small exercise before
Sure.
we end. But for those who'd like to follow you, where can they find you?
Yes. So follow the mindful performer. The mindful performer.
I'll write it down.
On,
Right.
on Instagram.
Okay.
It's the page.
Yeah.
And through it, let them go through the contact button,
Mhm.
and then they will go to WhatsApp. Just
Okay.
introduce themselves, and they're gonna.
For information or
Yeah, they're
anything.
gonna be saved in the contact list,
Mhm.
and then whenever we have a workshop or any retreat or any event,
Because
we
there's a
will
lot of
definitely-
activities.
There's a lot. There's
Yeah.
a lot coming this summer. I'm going to be having 2 to 3 different retreats in nature, so it's going to be a
Wow.
combination of both. Now I'm starting an advanced class again.
Yeah.
So for the people who took level 1, which is you.
Yeah.
and
I'll be in the next advanced class, not this one.
Advanced
Ready
is always repetitive. It's always new as it repeats itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I have so many workshops coming now, and I have so much workshops in Dubai as well. So I'm trying to let this grow and hopefully make everybody get used to expressing and being themselves, as it's not something that's looked
Common,
upon
yeah.
as something wrong, rather than it's something that should be completely natural, and whoever stops you doing that,
Yeah.
you should not be their friends anymore, because whoever stops you from
Okay.
expressing and being yourself or limiting you is not someone that cares about you.
Yeah, okay. Because you're such a talented person, and I want everybody to see your talent, because I was really mind blown by because you would improvise right away.
Yeah.
Like all these scenes and all these people and everything, it was just coming so naturally to you. So I wanted you to improvise something.
It's a combination of everything that I've been through as an actor, and working
Yeah.
with so many productions, and working on stage, and studying at Stella. I'm sure it all shaped me, but definitely the most thing that shaped me is me being more human, being more realistic, and not bullshitting anything. So
Yeah.
being extremely honest. So it's about being honest with your emotions. It's about understanding the importance of the word and the breath and everything that
breath.
guides with you.
And the connection
movement
all
and
together.
the eyes and everything.
Yeah.
Where are your eyes? Are they in the past? Are they in the present? Or are they in the future, thinking about what they're going to be doing, right? So it changes so much just with the eyes. It's very interesting.
That's true. So
Yeah,
you're gonna are you
I'm
gonna improvise something?
I'm not gonna improvise. I'm gonna just tell you the power of the words. I'm gonna say
Okay.
something from Gibran, Khay Gibran, the
Okay.
Prophet, something that we work on in class.
Yeah.
How shall I go in peace and without sorrow? Nay, not without a wound in the spirit shall I leave this city. Long were the days I have spent within its walls, and long were the nights of aloneness, and who can depart from his pain and his aloneness without regret? Or then we can go to Shakespeare, the regular to be or not to be. That is the question whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished to die, to sleep no more. And by a sleep, to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub, for in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining.
It's very essential as an exercise for people to just read and try to understand the power of the word, because then they can control their inner selves more.
Thank you so much, Liz, for this very enriching episode.
Thank you for your trust, and thank you for the wonderful... I'm already sweating. My body is sweating because there's so much intensity.
You're a ball of energy. I said it at the beginning. You're just a ball of energy all the time.
I am. Yeah. And I really hope everybody makes peace with their ball of energy, and everybody is able to figure out this beautiful fire and then feed it as much as they can, wood as much as they can, so that keeps on growing until it starts giving for the rest.
I'm sure it will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
See you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.